Don kept his eye on this one. He's with us. Don, how would you sum up this game?
Man United were really good for about 30 minutes and should have been about 3 or 4-0 up. They had loads of chances in the first half. And then as pre-seasons go, with it being their second game, Ten Hag made a whole changed the whole team for 45 minutes. Laurent Blanc waited a little bit more. He waited till the hour mark that he changed his team. So the opening 25, 30 minutes of the game was the more impressive. And it's always that dynamic between what really matters in pre-season games. Is it the result or is it getting fitness into the players? And I think that was the case. They were really good. I mean, Diallo was very sharp. I thought Jadon Sancho played off Mason Mount or vice versa. The rotation was good. But the standout player on the pitch by a million miles was Hannibal in the middle of the park. We've got him down as Medbury there, but he was dominant. He was getting on the ball. He was running in behind. He was creating chances. He's got a football intelligence. He's only young. He was on loan, I think, in the Championship last year. So he's put a real sort of marker down to Ten Hag. If you're thinking about loaning me again, on that performance, he might be worth keeping.
What about Van der Beek? This doesn't make a difference in his life, does it, Don?
No, yeah, I sort of felt from him. I mean, he had a real bad, serious injury last year. So he's come back and obviously got a little bit of a pre-season behind him. As I said, only the second game in. So I was watching him and he was labouring a little bit in terms of not his fitness as in, you know, his fitness in terms of get around the pitch, but just his sort of stride. He was sort of protecting that knee a little bit. Then he got his goal and he had an upturn in confidence. And I thought, yeah, that'll do him the world of good. Smile was back on his face. But then he faded a little bit. And as I said, you know, Ten Hag made a raft of change. This was the finish. Dan Gore, actually the player that put the cross in, he was really impressive. He come on at half-time. And for 20 minutes of the second half, another youngster who was really impressive. But the finish was good. It's the correct technique. No need to add any more power, side foot finish. So I think when Ten Hag looks at the overall picture, he'll be very happy what he saw from some of the first team players as well.
Frank, you look at it, Ten Hag knows this pretty much his starting 11, doesn't he, for his opening game in the Premier League. So what does he do with these sort of players that are on the periphery, not of the squad, but of staying with the team?
Well, it's part of his job to make sure that everybody is spot on and ready to step up if needed. He has to be clear to the player that he has that on and say, you know what, you're not part of the first 11, but I believe that I will need you if you give your best. So it's up to you to show me that I'm wrong. It's up to you to show me that you deserve to be in the first 11, and I would be delighted to put you in if you deserve it. But right now, it's what I think. I remember Gianluca Vialli saying to me, you know what, beginning of the season, I don't think you're going to be part of the job. And I had a very good preseason, and the first game of the season, I was in the first 11. He never talked to me after that. So it's you can change the mind of a coach if you give 100%, if you keep on scoring goals like Van der Beek did, but if you have a good performance overall, you can make the coaches changing their minds because they are ready to put the best team on the field and not to have their favourites.
But looking at it, Don, if you can't get in the first team last year or the year before that, a couple of performances that impress in the pre-season friendlies surely don't make that much of a difference.
Well, unless you have a really strong pre-season, unless you show it and you come out with lots of confidence and you show the world how good of a player you are. I mean, don't forget, just before he signed for Man United, he was massively tracked by Barcelona, so we know what type of player he was when he was playing for Ajax.
I think that's a push.
The injuries have hurt him. The self-confidence has sort of gone away. The spark has probably gone away from his game. Mason Mount, I watched very closely today, and I wonder where he's going to feature for Man United, because his best position is as a number 10, but he's got competition from the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Christian Eriksen. So they're assembling a team, and Arna's obviously on his way. He'll move the needle massively, I think, for them, being a ball-playing goalkeeper. So I think he's putting the pieces in the right places, Ten Hag. But it's screaming out when you watch Man United, even though they're only in their second game, and they've got Bilbao, and they've got Dortmund, they've got Real Madrid to come. So bigger and better tests, and Arsenal. They're screaming out for a number 9.
What's it like from a goalkeeper's perspective? Because you'll play the first half, and the goalkeeper will come in the second half. Like when that goalkeeper comes in, you're thinking, oh, I hope you play rubbish.
No goalkeeper. Listen, you know the hierarchy. You know where you.
Can it make any difference if you throw 3 in a pre-season?
Yeah, unlikely. I think And as I don't know if Kasey's approach was different from mine, but certainly in preseason games, I would start to feel my way into different things. So it may be I decide today I'm going to come for crosses, and I'll just come for every single cross. And you miss a couple, but that's part of the preseason process. And I think people understand that.
Today I might make some saves.
Yeah, you kind of leave that for later on. So to start with, just chucking them in, but you try to make saves later on in pre-season.
That's interesting. That's something you don't really think about. Would you talk to the manager or the coach about that, or it would just be a individual decision?
Maybe I'll talk to the goalkeeper coach about it.
Yeah.
That I feel like I really need to get my timing right. And again, from a goalkeeper perspective, I always felt one of the most difficult things. To get back was that timing and coming for crosses, timing and when to leave your line, time your jump. So you kind of start doing that early on, just coming for crosses. And then the last couple of weeks before the start of the season is when you're really focusing on just kind of playing the game as you would if it really, truly mattered.
Yeah, I think it's that reading the game. For me, it is that starting position. And then nothing I loved more early on was getting that ball right on the edge of the 18-yard box and reading that right off a player's foot where you didn't have to make a save because you read the game so well that you were able just to clean up things. But it's that timing because it has to be split second. And when you've just had, maybe with me...
And you do get sluggish with a little bit of time.
No, it's just that instantaneous reading of, yes, this is where I come up the line. This is where, okay, nope, now I step back and I have to make the save, or I let my defender come across and do their job. And then it's part of that, too. If you have a couple new center backs or maybe a new outside back, knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are well as, okay, I don't come off my line here because I know he's going to come back and clean that up. So little things that you're trying to figure out before it really matters.
We'll say goodbye to Don now. Don, what movie is it going to be tonight, then?
I think I might go for a classic, Dan. Alien.
Well, Pretty Woman, Alien, pretty much the same genre. That sounds about right. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.